Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my pleasure to be here today to talk to you about the digital transformation in maritime. And it's really good to be back in Singapore and see the activities that we can see here this week. It's amazing. So a big thank you to the organizers for this week. It's a lot happening, and this is the place to be, definitely. Let's talk about digital transformation, a bit where we are coming from and where we are going in the maritime space. And to do that, I think we need to start from one of the key drivers in the maritime space today, the decarbonization. It's impossible to talk to players in the industry today without talking about the decarbonization journey. And the key here for every discussion is to combine the decarbonization journey with the financial viability. How do you make sure you are on the correct path, not being too fast, not being too slow, to make sure that you stay in business long term? All of this will happen during more or less one vessel lifetime. And this is something which will bring a speed to the change that we have never seen in the maritime sector before. And this is an excellent opportunity to be in also from a digitalization point of view. This is one key driver that we can build on. We know that the regulations will challenge quite many ships to stay compliant, and here the digital tool will also, for sure, support that transformation. One key element in this transformation, for sure, are the green fuels. It's an absolutely crucial element of the transformation. We know, if we look at the solutions today, methanol and using green methanol is already starting to be a new normal in many segments. It's something that we sell today as more or less a normal offering. Ammonia is very close. We know that will work. And that can also be the next green fuel. And hydrogen as a fuel will come maybe a bit later, but can also be options. The key item in all these green fuels is the availability. If you take methanol as an example, if you would run the whole global shipping fleet today on green methanol, you would need 600 million tons. 2021, you had green methanol availability of 4.3 million tons. At the same time, you have 100 million tons of fossil methanol used in other industries. This is going to be the key challenge in all green fuels, to get the availability of fuels into the ecosystem. It will come, and it's absolutely needed to do this transformation. But the availability and distribution of green fuels will be a key here. The other aspect of this will be the cost. And now we come to also another digital driver. The future fuels will be 3 to 5 times more expensive than what we see today. And the challenge will be how to bring the existing fuels from a money point of view for the operators, owners, close to the green fuels. And that will happen through, for example, EU ETS or other regulations, where we will see the gap between the fuel costs of the existing fuels and new fuels reducing. We are not having a pathway yet to reduce the gap totally, but it will get closer. In all of these aspects, it means that the payback for digital solutions will be much faster than before. And the digital solutions are the most quickest opportunities to optimize the ecosystem. So again, we talk about a great opportunity here for the future ecosystem. But today, most of the data generated on board is never leaving the ship, which means that we today are leaving out a lot of opportunities and insights that can be used for both performance and efficiency optimization. We will need much more cybersecure platforms. We will need enhanced connectivity, and above all, we will need the impactful applications to look at how we close the silos between ship and shore and the different stakeholders on shore, talking both then about operators and ports. A lot is happening already today, but we are still in the very beginning of the ecosystem optimization. And we talk a lot about route optimization today, and that's just the start of the opportunity. Hurry up and wait is still one of the biggest sources of waste in shipping in any place you go. Real-time data exchange here between vessel, fleet operation center, and port ecosystem is really a key enabler to just-in-time arrival. This is just an example now, since we are in Singapore. If you analyze the last 72 hours of journeys into the port of Singapore, you have a lot of waiting time. Singapore is no different than many other ports. This is happening across the globe, and it's a waste in the ecosystem. This is no news. Then we can ask ourselves, since this is a no-brainer of digitizing the maritime ecosystem, why hasn't it happened already to a greater extent? If we look back, and I can start from myself, if I look back at what I thought 5 years ago where we would be on the digital aspect in maritime today, I would have thought we would be much further than where we are. One key reason for this is not about the technology itself or the digital technology. It's about to understand as well that in the maritime industry, it's not talking about millions of users or even hundreds of thousands of users. We talk about a very, very fragmented ecosystem where you need to have a lot of players collaborating and working together. And to make this happen, I will say a controversial thing now in a tech conference. It's not about the technology. The technology and the digital technology is absolutely important, and we need to develop it even more. But the key to implement it in the maritime ecosystem is how we collaborate and how we actually do it. Because we need to speed up, same as we need to speed up the green fuel transformation, we need to speed up the digital transformation. And this will require a collaboration in a way that we have never done before. We need to collaborate in a totally different way. And we need to look at the total big picture system to get this done. If you look at our experience from the digital front combined with what we do on the hardware side, if we start from the left-hand side, we have experienced a lot of benefits by using AI to reduce downtime of our equipment. But that's only one piece of it. If we then combine that with the human interface, know-how, and understanding of that specific installations, plus adding that to real-time data connectivity. And when you combine that and have the understanding of the total installation, the total ecosystem, you can unlock potential and values that is not measured in the amount of users. It's measured in the value we create to the vessel, to the fleet, to the ecosystem. And this is where we need to think totally different from a digital transformation. This is again not about the amount of users we are going to get. It's about the value creation we can do by combining different aspects in the total system. There is more coming. There are more benefits coming from technology point of view. We will get better connectivity possibilities, which will again increase the possibilities to use much more data from the vessels to shore operations. But this is not just about shore operations for the operator. It's also about talking to ports, talking to other stakeholders in the digital ecosystem. We see a lot of investments coming also into the maritime startups and digital development. And AI is accelerating in every possible field we can see. And of course, this is an enormous opportunity also for the shipping community. But then we come to the human aspects of this. Now, suddenly seeing that we can improve the connectivity the way this goes. We have done a survey in the maritime system to ask different stakeholders that how do you see the digital opportunities? If you look at the left-hand side of this picture, the majority thinks this is a no-brainer to do. Everyone or most agree that change and technology innovation is a good thing. Most have a clear understanding of why digitalization is needed and the benefits, and admit how important digital technology will be in achieving emission goals. But then there is a but to this as well from a human perspective. A clear majority say that the amount of data generated is overwhelming, complex to manage, believe that there is lack of skills and knowledge among seafarers and staff to fulfill the requirements of new technologies, and say that the industry needs to invest more specifically in data education and training. We need to bring much more the how into the ecosystem and how we can do the digital transformation in the maritime space. This will be requiring a lot of collaboration, and I believe we are on an extremely good way. We just need to enhance this. I just picked a few examples of collaboration being done in the field of decarbonization or digital transformation in the maritime field. I could have made this list much, much longer. We as an industry are moving into a way to operate that we have not fully been used to in the same way 5 or 10 years back. And the key word here is collaboration across partners, across segments, across stakeholders. Because we need to make this digital transformation about across the maritime into the port authorities to make the data flow, to make the benefit come through. And again, my key point here is technology and the digital part will be there. We can learn a lot from many other industries, but the key specific item here is how do we make this stick into the maritime industry? And this comes from the very fragmented approach of the maritime system as we have it today. You can talk about different segments in the shipping. You can talk about different stakeholders, both in the vessel operation as well as in the ports. And I look upon the digital transformation as being a great, great opportunity for the shipping. And we need to accelerate the targets to meet the IMO greenhouse gas targets. And here, the digital transformation is a perfect tool to both save emissions and save money. And that's the best combination of all. The fleet decarbonization will require a mix of green fuels. We need to accelerate the availability of green fuels into the shipping community and operational measures. And this is a combination that will make an economic sense. The key concern among all customers that we talk to, how do you stay economically feasible throughout this transformation? Not being too slow, not being too fast, but staying on top of the decarbonization curve and still making money in the industry. This is going to be the key and something we all need to collaborate around. We also see a paradigm shift in that sense that to get this implemented in the maritime ecosystem, it's from going from hardware standalone to performance to complex outcomes, and to look at how do we get a delivered outcome of the digital services that is really about a saving or an emission reduction. And again, I'm coming back to this, that this requires an ecosystem collaboration across the stakeholders. And this can definitely be done, because if you look at the efficiency gains that we can do in the maritime ecosystem, we all can say that this is a no-brainer. It's about how we do it together and collaborate around this transformation and utilize the digital technologies that comes also, and we can learn from other industries. So as a summary, I would say an excellent opportunity for maritime. It's an excellent time to be in maritime. I think from both technology and digital development point of view, it's a development path that none of us can see from a speed point of view in any other time in shipping. It's a really exciting time to be in shipping, and it's really great to see all the discussions ongoing here during Singapore Maritime Week. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for listening.